my name is Mary Nyakabi, and this is my application, my video application for the content editor and manager role. A brief about myself. I have been copywriting for the past 6 years. I started doing it while I was in campus and have continued to do so years after I graduated. So I do possess a degree in communication and media studies, which has been an advantage in a way, because some of the things that I am very good at right now is because of what I learned, especially in the communication sector. So I'm going to go through the roles. I'm going to go through the about the role section of the application and give you reasons why you should hire me in the process. The first thing you mentioned is that the main objectives are: one, to research and deliver content briefs to writers. So since we said that the video should be under 5 minutes, I'm going to rush over some of these things. I'll give you important parts of a content brief that I particularly embrace and apply, because I find that when I follow this particular brief, I end up with content that not only resonates with the client, but is also able to convert the audience into doing whatever the call to action is, or whatever else the marketing objective of that particular draft was. So the important parts of a content brief are: one, the target audience. If I cannot let the writers know who the target audience is, that means that they will not write content that resonates with the audience. So on this, I usually follow what Russell Baranson refers to as a buyer persona. So I am able to create one if one hasn't already been provided, by getting questions from the client to understand who their target audience is. And once I have the buyer persona, things such as like the pain points and what their desires are and what makes this particular product beneficial to them, then I include that like in the content brief. So that is on the target audience. Then the other thing is the tone of voice consistency. The tone of voice, and this is important because it needs to be consistent with the brand's personality, right? So one of the things that I ensure is that I'll tell the writers what type, because of this particular industry and because this is the target audience, this is the expected tone. So be that formal, playful, witty, whatever it is, I'll make sure that I include like in the content brief. The other thing is key messages. So the idea is to make sure that the copy given aligns with the marketing objective. That's first of all, and then it aligns with whatever the client wanted to communicate. So if, for example, the client launched, the client has for example, if the client has a new product in the home improvement niche that they would like to let their subscribers know of, then that means that one of the key messages is that we have a brand new item that is now available for you. You see, if I don't let the writer know what the key message should be, then they will not give content that aligns with this particular message. So having the key messages, and then the other thing is getting the content brief to explain the goals of the content. So sometimes like the writer doesn't need to know like the entire marketing behind this particular client, but they need to know what the marketing objective for this particular content is. So I make sure that they know that. So for example, if it's to drive more people to sign up for a pre-order, or rather to drive more people to pre-order this particular product, or to drive more sign-ups for example, the discounted offer for those who come early, you see, who are early at purchasing this particular product. So whatever marketing objective is that is expected for that particular content, I'll make sure that the writer understands, because only then will they be able to give content that resonates. The other thing you mentioned is reviewing drafts and providing feedback. I honestly believe that providing feedback as well as constructive criticism is very important, especially in these early drafts. It's important because the writers also get to learn alongside getting the specific edits or revisions needed for this particular content. and I do so with care, and I make sure that I communicate in a way that they don't feel down, but at the same time I communicate so effectively that the revision is likely to be what is needed for that particular product. So maybe I can mention here that I have also been an editor at some point. I have edited books and I have even edited blogs. I've also edited blogs and other marketing materials, so I am well versed in what is needed for each particular content type. So editing and polishing the content, I've already mentioned that. So part of editing is grammar, obviously. Then the other part is tone. Tone is also a very big part of it. The other thing that I look for is, was the marketing or the content brief followed? Like, does it meet what the client initially had in mind? So for example, if there were keywords given for SEO, are these keywords present, or maybe did the writer forget to use some of them or all of them, or maybe they did not even consider SEO, if at all the article, blog, or whatever it is had SEO as part of the requirements, right? Then coordinating with graphic designers to produce helpful and unique images. So part of communication and media, one of the things that we do learn is graphic design. So I am not an expert at graphic design, but I am able to do graphics and design. I am familiar with most tools like Adobe Illustrator. I am familiar with even other free tools like Canva, for those who use Canva, and I am also familiar with things to do with high quality images, what you look at when you're selecting an image, use of Creative Commons images, and if it's something that requires a graph, for example, if let's say a client who has home improvement products wants to do like an informational, say for example 10 items, home improvement items, like you must get this fall or this summer or whatever, and then obviously it's linked to marketing. So like if that blog was done, maybe I may think that an infographic is what is needed. So coordinating with the graphic designers to explain to them like the objective as well as what is specifically needed for this particular client. So graphics design is something that I am well versed in. Then oversee the content production and current workflow processes to help improve output efficiency. So that's one of the things that I wanted to say, that efficiency, part of being a content manager is always finding the most efficient and effective way to do things. So for example, I could come up with templates maybe for SEO, or what a small guide about, like say for example, how to make sure that this particular blog, that blogs produced by our writers meet the standard. Because whereas like every client comes with, there's no one size fits all. In as much as that is true, it is also true that there are some things, that there are some quality checks, for example, that you need to have as a writer, even before like I can tell you what the client needs. Like there are things you should already have. So finding the most effective ways, and also like tools. I have been a writer myself, so there are tools that I recommend that every writer should have or should use. For example, if you're writing SEO content, some tools like SEO Safa and Yoast SEO, for example, teaching people how to navigate the Grammarly premium tool, because again, not everyone knows what to look for. For example, what are some of the grammar suggestions that you should actually not ever like automatically put just because Grammarly premium has told you to. So things like those, finding tools and making everything efficient, and also explaining to them how to use tools that and resources that are already available, right? So manage, mentor, and build a high quality content writing team. I think that is very, very important. That is very important. So I think I would do things like webinars, for example, like if, but then it would be based on what I am able to assess about the writers in general, and then sometimes hold individual one-on-one meetings with writing team members who maybe, you may find that this particular writer is very good at SEO, but they're very poor with formatting. Maybe their blogs, they don't usually consider H1, H2 titles. Maybe they're very poor at just formatting, right? So there are things that you may see run across the writing team, and then there are those that are specifically to an individual. So depending on what I find, and even as we continue to grow, then I will be able to nourish not just the general team, but even them as individual writers. So I think that is very important, and I do have ways that I can actually that I would recommend, like ways we can use. I already mentioned webinars. I'm already writing a book on 16 laws of copywriting for businesses. So like coming up with things like those that can help them get better. And then I tend to really scout for free educational materials relating to copywriting and digital marketing in general, because I have done different types of I've been in different sides of copywriting. So like I do have like trainings that I would recommend and all that. So not every material will necessarily come from me should you choose to hire me, but then in that case it will be very specified that for this particular one it's an external academy, and this is the link to register for their free course, for example. And then manage the content administration. I know everything that goes into from the initial stage all the way to the final stage where like the client is happy and satisfied, gives us a review, and we are able to pitch to them the next thing. That's the other thing. When you hire me as a content manager, like I am also very good at marketing, so I can find ways, if they are not already in place, that we can find more work from the same clients, like that we can have repeat clients. So even and then the other thing is that if it's not already happening, like I would like have ideation meetings where even the writers themselves can tell you, like for this particular client we noticed that this and this and this is not okay, so maybe we can pitch to them this and this and this and this. Ideation also helps to see what each writer is strong at and what they may not be that much strong at. So that's the other thing that I will do as a content manager, because sometimes you find that, say, Ashley is very good at social media projects and maybe Andrew is good at writing blogs. So even knowing which content would best be suited for which writer in the first place, like contributes towards the overall meeting the objectives of whatever the marketing, meeting the marketing objectives. Maybe something extra that I can mention is that, yes, I have used different tools. I mentioned that, not just for copywriting, but even for content managing, things like Trello. So all these tools, and I am always open to learning about new tools that maybe I may not have come across. But yes, I am well versed in that. So the other thing is that I ensure that I do competitor research as a content manager, to see like what other people are doing, and then also like to ensure to find some, if for example there is a particular piece that I can find that would directly be what the client is looking for, giving them examples either from what the client already loved. Maybe they've seen maybe you're talking about someone who sells gardening tools, and they already know their competitor, or they like the style, tone, or the structure of a specific website. That particular information I would be able to transfer it to a writer. If that is not available, say for example the client is a first timer and they're new to this, then I can be able to guide the writers into what I think would best fit the client in terms of the writing style, and to follow the brand guidelines. So, and then of course setting clear deadlines and expectations for revisions and approvals is very, very important. Having said that, the summary of it is that I think that I know that I would be a good fit for Searchful in terms of what I can bring to the table, and I hope that after this application, I can get to the interview process. I cannot wait to discuss more on how we can better the writing team, and I cannot wait to see how much amazing work we can do together. So that's my application. Have a nice day.